both sides of this matchup. Mighty Brook is trained and managed by her husband, Jose, who is actually a sparring partner for Chocolatito Gonzalez, and that was Mighty Brook's introduction to the sport of boxing. Really the first time that she took it seriously was training side by side with one of the greatest of this era. You see the Nicaraguan flags in her hands and on her fight kit as well. And Mighty Brook is an exceptional fighter in her own right. A brief amateur career, 22-3, but picked up 2 national championships here in the United States. Now 6-2 as a professional, and she is all action all the time as we take a look at the tail of the tape. You see Ruby Gutierrez enjoying a height and reach advantage here tonight. This one made just above the minimum weight limit, which allowed for Sibrian to weigh in at 106 here tonight. A potential show stealer here in the light flyweight division.
We continue with the action inside the Avalon Hollywood. This is Championing Mental Health, a night of boxing, a presentation of 555 Media, along with Bash Boxing and our sponsors, Alleviate Tax. Athletes for Hope in association with WBC Cares. This contest set for a limit of 6 rounds in the minimum weight division. Our judges at ringside, we have Tiffany Clinton, along with Ron Scott Stevens and Carla Gais. Introducing the fighter in the blue corner. She enters wearing blue with silver trim on the scale. She registered an official 104.5 pounds tonight. This slugger from south of the border enters the ring in her 8th professional bout with a record of 5 victories against 1 lone defeat and 1 bout even. Representing Coahuila, Saltillo, Mexico, Ruby Gutierrez. Across ring, the red corner. Wearing black with orange and teal trim, she weighed in officially at 106 pounds. Tonight, this former national amateur champion with Salvi and Mexican heritage enters the ring with a record of 6 victories against 2 losses, 3 of those victories coming by way of KO. Fighting out of the Coachella Valley Boxing Club and representing Los Angeles, California, Mighty Brook Sibrian. With final instructions, referee Thomas Taylor.
Come on over here, Coach. All right, coaches, fighters. Everything from the orange letters up is going to be good. Everything under the blue letters up is going to be good. You got my instructions in the back. Protect yourselves at all times. Listen to my commands. Touch them up. Back to your corner, please.
So we are ready for action here in Hollywood. Brook Sibrian and Ruby Gutierrez. Fight made just above the minimum weight limit, and we are underway. This one's scheduled for 6 2-minute rounds. You see Gutierrez in the blue trunks and Sibrian in the tiger print.
Sibrian has only been a pro a year and 6 months, and like her style in the ring, she's been very active. She starts quickly in every fight. She'll want to get out of the gate quickly, but Gutierrez is also an all-action fighter.
You see Sibrian with a Coachella on the back of her trunks, residing in the Coachella Valley. And Manuk, the Coachella Valley, seemingly one of its great exports is pressure fighters and all-action fighters.
Absolutely, and right now we have Sebastian Fundura leading the charge, and Gabriela Fundura as well, the undisputed flyweight queen, fighter of the year in 2024 in the female ranks. But so many great fighters trained there out of the Diaz gym.
Good body shot there from Gutierrez. We last saw her fighting to a draw against Carla Sanchez Barrera. That was a rematch of a fight that Gutierrez won previously. Gutierrez been mostly fighting on the domestic Mexican circuit, looking for opportunities like this one.
Yeah, this is her first fight in America, and she is hoping to make it a good one. She's all action, as is Sibrian. Sibrian's fight with Manguia earlier this year to Gloria Manguia, in which she lost a close decision, was one of the most exciting fights of the year.
And Excellent action fight. You can see why. Two very similar mentalities in the ring right now, as Gutierrez doing some good work, landing body shots from long range. And she has, as we saw on the tail of the tape, the height and reach advantage, but that length, Al, is a little bit deceptive as well.
It is, and she's using it very effectively against a fighter that wants to get on the inside.
Or the 10-second marker as the seconds tick away in an all-action opening round.
And gentlemen, I was doing my due diligence, just checking the odds on this fight, and some sports books had Gutierrez as a 10-1 underdog. And after that first round, I think this is a very evenly matched fight. Be interesting to see how this shakes out over the next 5 frames.
Yeah, this one was never a 10-1 fight. And both women doing a lot of good offensive work early in the round, early in the fight. And Corey's point about Gutierrez using her height and reach a little bit effectively in that first round was, I think, a key component of what she's trying to do. Not always her style to do that. But both women, especially as that round wound down, landing good shots.
And Sibrian connected with 2 crushing left hooks on the counter that created a welt on the left eye of Gutierrez.
And you can see that developing pretty quickly. It'll be something for us to observe throughout the fight as round 2 now begins. Sibrian, one thing that she has landed with regularity, that's something that has been a pattern throughout her career, is that right hand to the body. And you could see some of that stylistic Chocolatito influence, just the ability to punch on the way in. You can see some of the hallmarks of spending a lot of time around Chocolatito.
Yeah, I think her style is very similar to his, obviously not on his level, but, you know, she uses the jab to work her way in, and then she will use that right to the body, and she's also got a very good left hook. Gutierrez herself is a good body puncher, so we're going to see a lot of that in this fight, and we already have. She's giving you those right hands to the body on cue, Corey, and look at Gutierrez.
Just cranking those left hooks to the body. And when Gutierrez gets in rhythm, she can do something that fighters with her build sometimes can do, which is really start flowing and doubling up with those uppercuts. You think of other lanky fighters who could do that, the Alexis Arguellos, the Antonio Margaritos of the world. When she is in that kind of rhythm, she can be dangerous with those shots.
Yeah.
Sibrian getting to the body once more. Gutierrez missing over the top of the left hook, creating those openings. You see Sibrian just keeps on coming, just stealing those shots to the body.
Sibrian, when she uses the jab to work her way in, is more effective, but I'll tell you, she's on the end of some great counter punches by Gutierrez.
An excellent right hand connected about 10 seconds ago there for Gutierrez. As both women doing some terrific work here. Early part of this round, likely in favor of Sibrian. These final 30 seconds produce some excellent work for Ruby Gutierrez.
It was a very active second round, and while Gutierrez went downstairs, Sibrian able to get the jab in, and Gutierrez from range doing what Corey mentioned, being able to land the body work from range even, and Sibrian doing some good counter punching from time to time. And Sibrian had a good beginning of the round, but here we see them both exchanging at the end of the round. The Sibrian left hook making its way into this fight, and she has a good one.
It's round 3 underway. Nice right hand in the early going there from Sibrian. And Manuk, one thing that's interesting about this matchup as well, you look at the records of Sibrian and Gutierrez, 6-2, 5-1-1. I mean, this is a 2-time national amateur champion in the U.S. taking on a Mexican national silver medalist. The fact that they have losses on their record speaks to the career trajectories of women, especially in these weight classes, you have to take tough fights early in your career. There are very few examples of people being sort of coddled to a glossy record to, say, a 15-0.
Yeah, and absolutely. I think you have to also give credit to the matchmakers. Steve Bash putting on a great event here tonight, and I think a lot of these fights are evenly matched, as we see also with Vic Pasillas and Carlos Jackson in the co-feature as well.
This fight is living up to what we thought it would be, and that last right hand by Sibrian hurt her, and so did that one.
Good shots here from Sibrian, who is pouring it on. Hard left hook. That might have Gutierrez in trouble, but she's looking to fight out of trouble. Cibrian pouring it on here in the third round.
Gutierrez has never been down as a pro.
Non-stop volume from mighty Brook Sibrian, and Gutierrez can't find her way off the ropes. Sibrian just perpetual motion here. Gutierrez trying to find a body shot to get her out of trouble. Blood pouring down from her nose, in addition to the mouse under her eye. What a volume punching performance from Brook Sibrian. Wow.
And praise to Thomas Taylor, who happens to be one of the best refs in boxing, for not jumping in to stop that fight because Gutierrez was punching back. Well, an amazing round for Brook Sibrian. It turned when she landed a big right hand that hurt Gutierrez. And once she did, there's the hook in the right hand that really started her into trouble. And then Sibrian, who is a volume puncher and a non-stop puncher, with her volume was able to push Gutierrez back against the ropes. And even though Gutierrez landed some good counter punches off those ropes, Sibrian just wouldn't stop. And obviously that was a big round one. You could easily score 10-8 for Sibrian if you wanted to.
I mean, incredible to think that Brook Sibrian started in cardio boxing classes at Rumble Boxing. Manuk, that looked like the number of punches you might throw in a cardio boxing class when you're not concerned about defense at all. She just will not stop.
That was an incredible barrage of punches there in the corner, but Gutierrez can't get caught in the corner again like that, because I think next time it'll be ugly.
Yeah.
Manuk, how do you have this one scored thus far?
I have it 2-1 in favor of Brook Sibrian, 29-28. Like Al mentioned, arguably that could be a 10-8 round in the third, but Gutierrez was fighting back, had some brief flashes defending herself. So for that reason, I gave it a 10-9.
I was not trying to influence your unofficial scoring, Manuk. I would never do that.
Well, Gutierrez has recovered, seemingly. You know, the gait of Gutierrez, although fell a little bit off balance after that left hook there, it has returned a little bit of a bounce in her step here in the fourth.
Well, in her last fight, Sibrian did score a knockout against a novice opponent. Against the upper echelon women she's fought, she hasn't scored knockouts yet, but tonight she's landing some big power punches and bloodying up the face of Ruby Gutierrez.
Yeah, that blood had stopped momentarily, but Brook Sibrian has reignited that blood flow courtesy of a left hook and this non-stop volume, which is picking up once again here in the latter half of the round. Good left hook, though, from Gutierrez.
And it's clear that Sibrian is still fresh. She didn't punch herself out in that barrage and combinations in round 3. She's still going at it.
Just an incredible gas tank on Sibrian.
She has shown this in all her fights. Even in the couple losses she had, she kept battling right to the end in tough all-out wars.
Sibrian doing a good job here in this fourth round, taking away the left hook of Gutierrez. She's catching some of those shots, landing her own left hook on the inside. But this is a gutsy effort from Ruby Gutierrez.
was a little more sedate than the previous one, it still favored Sibrian as she landed the rights and the left hooks. And while Gutierrez was attacking, she was getting hit with counter punches by Sibrian. And it was a round in which most of the good work was done by Sibrian, but Gutierrez was able to still attack the body a little bit and land some good shots, but she took the bulk of the big power shots.
Two to go here in what has been a terrific fight between Brook Sibrian and Ruby Gutierrez.
Well, Sibrian is an eclectic woman who works creating pop-up ads for the Wall Street Journal, no less. Gets up at 4 a.m. in the morning, works with a lot of clients in New York and Europe, and then goes and trains for boxing. So that's kind of a unique story.
Well, it's not surprising, too, when you've watched Mighty Brook throughout fight week, when you look at her fight gear, there's thought that goes into her presentation. Yeah. But right now, there's no thinking. It's just throwing all volume all the time for Sibrian, who just ate a terrific right hand from Gutierrez and continues to plow forward.
And an uppercut from Gutierrez. She is a good offensive fighter, Gutierrez, but just has taken a lot of punishment.
Heard some chants of Ruby here at the Avalon in Hollywood, trying to rally behind the 19-year-old from Mexico.
This fight has been exactly what we expected.
Gutierrez has not given up on trying to get to the body of Sibrian. Close in on the final 30 seconds here of round 5. Nice uppercut connected in the midst of that flurry for Gutierrez. Ten seconds remain as Sibrian goes to the body with a nice left hook. One to go here in this light flyweight battle.
Another round with lots of good offense. Again, more of it from Sibrian, though Gutierrez did mix in power punches during the course of that round. And you can see the exchange of these women. That's the right hand from Gutierrez that should have at least pushed Sibrian back, but it didn't. And the uppercuts also being used by Gutierrez, but it was the onslaught of Sibrian that mostly controlled that fight. And they're headed into the 6th round. Both these women used to this distance. Sibrian's been 6 rounds 3 times and 8 rounds once. Gutierrez has been 6 rounds twice and 8 rounds once. So they're used to this 6th round.
You see the effects of this battle. You see the kit of Ruby Gutierrez just tie-dyed with her own blood. So we'll touch gloves and get to action in the 6th and final round. Manuk, remarkable, again, when you look at the fitness and the punch output of Sibrian, considering how she has to balance her life between the job that Al referenced, getting up at 4 a.m., doing 2 hours of work, then training, then having to come back and work some more.
Well, I hope she's not working at 4 o'clock tomorrow morning because she's going to need a day off.
Yeah. Oh, wow, what a left hook by Sibrian. She just continues to crank that punch up. And one of the things that makes her an interesting fighter is the diversity of her attack.
And over the last 2 rounds, Gutierrez, the onslaught and the pace has slowed down a bit. She is loading up 1 punch at a time. I think it's clear now she's going to need a knockout to pull some magic here in the 6th and final round.
Nice body shot there from Sibrian. Finding a lane behind the right elbow of Gutierrez, and now that chopping right hand snaps her head back twice.
And Sibrian has never been down as a pro, so it'll take something for Gutierrez to produce that.
There was a deep breath there from Gutierrez. This attack is wearing on Ruby Gutierrez, who has about 25 seconds to survive. But she's not just looking to survive. She will not stop throwing herself.
And the body work of Sibrian important in this last round. She's stalled her with that.
What a warrior, these two women. This is Gutierrez's first fight in the United States, and I hope it's not the last.
Unbelievable punch volume from both women. And we will hear the final bell after a 6-round war.
Among peers to us in an unofficial way anyway, probably did enough to win this match, but very similar. What she, we'll look at the, on Gutierrez. Gutierrez still throwing big shots from the outside, was able to do that for the first several rounds, even when Sibrian started to take control of this fight. And then once Sibrian did, she was landing big right hands and left hooks, and even these wild exchanges were giving her the edge. But Gutierrez kept throwing the uppercuts, the right hands, and landing. The volume of punches, from, as you pointed out, Corey, from both women was extraordinary. And this was later in the fight when Sibrian had already taken control and she was dominating.
Just a tremendous action fight. Manuka, you're lucky you're not counting punches. You might have carpal tunnel now, but how do you have this one scored?
Thankfully, I'm not working for CompuBox tonight. I have this 5 rounds to 1, 59-55 in favor of Brook Sibrian, but we're going to make it official here with Lupe Contreras here in a few short moments. The fight just fell out of Gutierrez's hands as it went on.
After 6 rounds of back and forth action, we consult the official scorecard to determine a winner. Judges Clinton and Scott Stevens turned in identical scores of 60-54. And Judge Guy scores at 59-55. All in favor of the winner by way of unanimous decision. Mighty